Hello, welcome to Guachon English Town. I am Victoria teacher and I will be your museum tour guide today for the Smithsonian Natural History Museum. What we have on the screen right now is the worksheet that we're going to use while we are on our tour. So please write your Korean name and your English name on the front and then we will get started. We're going to begin with page 2 where it says, let's think. So please have it open to this page while I open up our slides. So before we get started, we do have to ask the question, what is natural history? If you take a look at all of these pictures, maybe you can get an idea of what it is. But the answer is, it's about the study of animals and plants in the wild and the nature that they live in. So keep that in mind while we go over these questions. So what can you see at the Natural History Museum? If you remember, it's about wild animals and plants. So can we see, and nature. So can we see gems? Can we see paintings there? Can we see butterflies, fossils, or insects? So you can check more than one. The answer for this one is we can see gems. And we'll talk about that too when we look at the museum, but we can't see paintings because they're not really in nature. People have to make it. We can see butterflies, we can see fossils, and we can see insects. Okay, next we're going to explore the Smithsonian Museum, and this is what we learned in the passport. If you remember the very first day, where is the Smithsonian located? This is the map of the world, and the Smithsonian is all the way over here in America. It is in a city called Washington, D.C. So there's a lot of movies that happened in the Smithsonian Museum. One of them is The Night at the Museum, if you know that movie. Okay, but in the Smithsonian, let's see what kind of things we can see there. First, we'll talk about mummies. We'll also talk about mammals, dinosaurs. I think some of you might enjoy that. And gems and minerals, as we mentioned. And remember, this comes from nature, which we will also have a page about too. Okay, before we get started, we do need to go over the vocabulary words. So again, in your worksheet, you can go down to all of these English words and the Korean on the right side. So if you see it, just draw a line to the word with its Korean. So here we go. Let's get started. The first word that we have is mammal. So you can repeat after me after you hear it. Mammal. And this is the Korean for mammal. The next one that we have is tradition. Next, we have mummies. Next is exhibit. So exhibits are things that people want to show you in the museum. Okay, the next word we have is outer. And outer, maybe you know it sounds very similar to outside. Okay, the next word that we have is warm-blooded. Warm-blooded animals are animals, if they're hot or cold, they still stay warm inside their bodies. Oh, and here we go. Here's the Korean word. Okay, the next one that you have is form. On the left side, we can see different shapes. So it's just the shape of something. Okay, the next word that we have is reptiles. And we have different examples of reptiles in the picture. Crocodiles and snakes are also reptiles. Okay, the next word that we have is minerals. So minerals, gems, they come from the earth, and we do have a part in it that we will talk about as well. Okay, we have 3 more. The next word that we're talking about is extinct. So extinct means these are animals that are not alive anymore. So there's none of them left. Okay, the next word that we have is relatives. So relatives are people who are not your brother, sister, mom, or dad, but they're still part of your family. So it could be your cousin, your grandmother or grandma and grandpa, all of those people. And the last word that we have is fossil. So the fossils are the dinosaur bones that you see under the ground. And again, we will talk about fossils later. So as I said, for page 2, since we went over all of these, if I went too quickly, you can look back in the video. Just draw a line to the English word to the matching Korean word. So here are 2 of them, and you can look back in the video to match the other ones too. So we're going to move on to the next part, which is page 3 in our worksheet. So we're not going to look at the top part. We're going to start on the first floor, the green part where it says mammals. So on the first floor for mammals, we need to know, what are mammals? In your worksheet, we have a blank here, and the answer for that, we need to write mammals. So mammals are warm-blooded animals that have hair and drink milk from their mothers. So what are 3 mammals that we can see in this exhibit? We can go to the Smithsonian Museum here, and we have a map of different animals that we can see. So if you look around, maybe there are some animals that you know. So let's go slowly. Maybe there are some other ones here. I see some far away. And if you know the names of these animals, you can write them down in your worksheet. So let me go back over here. Yeah, so we have this space where it says, what are 3 mammals that we can see it in this exhibit? Just write 3 names on the bottom. Okay, once we're finished with that, we're going to move on. Oh, and did you know that there are 2 mammals that lay eggs? Usually mammals don't have eggs. You can just, they just have a live birth. So the baby just comes out. Okay, the next one is on page 4, the other part of the first floor. So if we go to page 4, over here where it says fossils and dinosaurs. So let me bring that one up again here. So the first one that we're going to look at are the fossils. This is what a fossil is. Here, we're going to write the word fossils are made of dead animals and plants. They take more than 10,000 years to, and if you remember this picture, it is form. Okay, if we have time, we can show the video of the fossils later, but for now, just remember the pictures where the fossils are growing, and you can guess where the fossils are coming from. Okay, here we go. Now, since we're done with fossils, we're going to move on to the dinosaurs. So what are dinosaurs? Maybe a lot of you know what dinosaur names there are, but here, dinosaurs are reptiles that went extinct over 66 million years ago. Today, birds are the closest relatives to the dinosaur, and some dinosaurs even have feathers. Okay, so if we take a look at the dinosaur exhibit, let me bring it up again over here. I think it's this one. Oh, one more. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of dinosaurs that we can see around here. Maybe you know some of these dinosaur names. There's one, we have a long tail here. There's another one on the wall. And we also have a tall dinosaur with a long neck. And we can't see the one behind the plant, but there's another one with a long neck here. Okay, so these are all different dinosaurs that were on Earth at one point. Okay, so since we're finished with dinosaurs now, we do have a question for you. Which one of these is not a dinosaur? Is it a Triceratops, Velociraptor, Stegosaurus, or the T-Rex? So the answer for this one is Stegosaurus. I don't know if I ever heard of a dinosaur like that. Okay, most dinosaurs had feathers and even baby T-Rexes. This is what a lot of scientists are thinking. So now that we're done on the first floor, we're going to move on to the second floor. And the first thing on the second floor, we're back on page 3 in your worksheet. Let me go back up here where we will talk about mummies and insects. Okay. First one is the mummies. So what are they? Here, Egyptians made mummies as a tradition for 3,000 years. They even made animal mummies. So in your worksheet, you also have a page or a spot over here where you can name 3 animal mummies in the exhibit. So let's bring up the worksheet again, or not the worksheet, the map. So here, let's take a look at some exhibits. Oh, not this one. Hold on, let me go over here. Okay, in our, oops. Okay, so some of the mummies that you see here, I know it might look a little bit scary, but I want to let you know that it's not. Okay, so we have here one type of animal, and then if you look at the space over here, we can see many types. On the left side, I think you know what that head looks like, and there's other ones over here as well. And if you can't see them well, let's give you the answers. Here we also have a cat, we also have crocodiles, and we also have snakes as animal mummies. Okay, after mummies, let's move on to the insects. So for the insects, remember here they have an outer shell. So insects or bugs are animals with 6 legs and a hard outer shell, sorry. There are 10 million different kinds of bugs. 10 million. So if we look at the bug collection, let me bring that one up again. Over here on the second floor. There are many types of bugs here. You can even see pictures of them, and there's so many on the wall. And these are things that you can see at the zoo. Okay. So here, what are 3 bugs that you can name? Here's a hint. We have pictures of them. And if you know how to spell them, you can write them on the line. Okay. Lastly, we're going to be talking about the minerals. So the gems and the minerals you can see on page 4 again. Oh, wrong one. Oh no, it's over here. So you can see it on page 4 on the second floor. So we're going to look at the top part. And if you don't know what minerals are, they are gems and rocks are made from minerals. Minerals can come from water, lava, and are all around us. Do you know a mineral that we usually eat? We see it on our table a lot too. Right here, salt. So salt is a mineral and you eat it a lot. You can write salt on the line. So let's take a look at the Smithsonian's mineral collection. If we go to, I think it's this one. Yeah, if we go here, this is a picture of the earth and where we can find the minerals. And if we look on this wall, there are also different minerals that people and scientists have picked up from different parts of the world. Okay, so now that we're finished talking about that, let's review what we learned. Since this is about dinosaurs, do you remember the parts of the dinosaur? The first one is tail. The next part, teeth. We also have the nose, we have legs, and we also have the claws. So this is page, right here. This is page 5 in your book. So the first top part where it says, let's review, go ahead and write those answers in your worksheet. Once you're finished with that, we're going to move to the bottom. Here, our question is, put the fossil cycle in order. How do people make fossils? The first part is here. Number 2, number 3, and number 4 are over here. So go ahead and write the numbers down in your worksheet as well. Okay, and we're moving on to page 6, where we have all of these dinosaurs, and you just need to write draw a line from the dinosaur to its name. And here are the answers here. First one we have is Triceratops. We also have Stegosaurus. Here's the Velociraptor. Here's the Pterodactyl. We have the Brachiosaurus, and the last one is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Okay, on page 7, this is going to be your creativity. So these are things that you have to think about yourself. First one is designing your dinosaur species and naming it. So you get to make a dinosaur. When you're making a dinosaur, think about what each of the dinosaur names have. So when you make one, you can put saurus or raptor at the end of it. If we go back to this one, we have Brachiosaurus, Stegosaurus, Velociraptor, or Tyrannosaurus. So if you want to make something like a Catosaurus, then you can draw a dinosaur cat. Okay, and after you're finished with the dinosaurs, a lot of them were reptiles, which means they have eggs. So now you have to think about what the egg looks like. Maybe it has spots, maybe there's lines. These are all ideas. You can be creative with it too. Okay, so that's it for the Smithsonian Natural History Museum. I hope that you learned more about it too, and I will see you on the next day.